Dawn hadn't even bothered to knock before barging into Alex's world. He hadn't slept a wink, his mind a carousel of impossible things, his death as Kevin, his rebirth as Alex, and the absurd notion that he was destined to become some sort of magical slum lord. The facts tumbled through his thoughts like loose stones, a blessing from the goddess of light, an AI named Michelle now living rent-free in his head, a dying mentor to learn from, and a little sister to protect. Just another Tuesday, really. Speaking of his sister, Shelley burst through his door like a tiny whirlwind. "Big brother, Lady Luna wants to meet you by the well." Her eyes sparkled with the kind of excitement only children can muster at this ungodly hour. "Thanks, Shelley," he managed, watching her bounce away. So this was it. Survival school in a new world was about to begin. As he made his way through the slums, he took in his future kingdom, buildings worn down by time and neglect, streets that had seen better centuries, and an odd sort of charm that whispered of potential. It was a place where dreams went to die, but somehow still managed to give birth to new ones. The air was thick with the scent of damp earth and something sweetly rotten, a reminder of the lives lived and lost in these narrow alleys. He stepped over a crack in the cobblestones, wondering how many stories lay buried beneath the layers of grime. Each step felt like a promise, a vow to do better, to be better. He was Alex now, not Kevin. He had a chance to rewrite his narrative, to take control of his destiny, whatever that might mean in a world where magic and reality entwined like lovers lost in a dance. Lady Luna sat by the well like a painting come to life, her presence somehow making the dreary surroundings feel more dignified. With a casual flick of her wrist, she conjured a wooden chair from thin air, because apparently that was just something people did here. Her gesture beckoned him closer, promising secrets that could alter the course of his journey. "There's much to teach you," she began, her voice carrying the weight of years. "First, let's talk about mana and aura. Here in the slums, aura reigns supreme." Her eyes gleamed as she continued. "We're a trade town, but that's a lesson for another time. What you need to know is this. Every slumlord worth their salt is an aura master. Challenging them without matching their mastery would be like bringing a butter knife to a dragon fight." The imagery settled into his mind, vivid and unsettling. A butter knife against a dragon. It was absurd, yet it made sense. He had to be prepared, had to learn the rules of this new game before stepping onto the board. Lady Luna's presence was both intimidating and reassuring, a beacon in the murky waters of his new reality. She explained how 3 of the slumlords employed champions, other aura masters who did their dirty work. "Only the Pirate King and I stand alone," she said with a hint of pride. "Champions are more trouble than they're worth. Give them too much power and suddenly they're eyeing your territory like a cat eyes ice cream." The metaphor struck a chord. He could picture it vividly. The feline gaze, calculating and hungry, ready to pounce on any sign of weakness. Lady Luna's expertise seemed endless. She used aura for everything from purifying wells to maintaining the public bathrooms, a task she took seriously enough to stand guard for hours, ensuring everyone's safety. Her helpers, the Wolf Hawk clan of the Laws, were skilled aura users, but as she put it, they were cubs compared to the lions that were aura masters. The hierarchy of power was clear, and he felt the weight of expectation settle on his shoulders like a heavy cloak. How do I become an aura master? Alex asked, trying not to sound too eager. He could feel the fire of determination igniting within him, a flicker of hope that maybe, just maybe, he could rise to the challenge. Lady Luna's laugh danced through the air, light and melodic, breaking through the fog of uncertainty that had settled over him. First crawl, then walk, young one. You need to master being an aura user before anything else. She launched into an explanation of aura foundations versus aura stars, like a sommelier describing the difference between wines. Foundation for those who want their body to be their weapon. Star for those who want to wield weapons themselves. Choose carefully. This decision sticks like bad reputation. The placement options sounded like some sort of mystical game of pin the tail on the donkey, gut, heart, skeleton, or lungs. When Alex asked for her recommendation, Lady Luna didn't hesitate. Aura star in the heart. It'll give you more options. And if you ever dabble in mana, you'll thank me later. Her confidence was infectious, and he felt the swell of possibility rise within him. Alex reached out mentally to Michelle, his resident AI companion. Thoughts? Lady Luna's logic is sound, Michelle replied in his mind, her voice calm and measured. The heart placement optimizes your potential pathways. He could almost see the gears turning in her digital mind, calculating the odds, weighing the risks. Lady Luna leaned forward, grasping Alex's hands with surprising warmth. Now focus inward, toward your heart, she instructed. I'm going to share some of my aura with you. If you have the gift, you'll feel a spark. And trust me, her eyes twinkled, this is going to be interesting. He took a deep breath, grounding himself in the moment. The world around him faded, the sounds of the slums dimming to a distant hum. He felt her aura washing over him, a gentle tide that ebbed and flowed, wrapping around him like a comforting blanket. It was warm, vibrant, alive. He closed his eyes, focusing on the sensation, searching for that elusive spark she had promised. It came suddenly, like a lightning bolt striking a tree. A jolt of energy surged through him, igniting every nerve ending, every cell in his body. It was exhilarating and terrifying all at once. He gasped, his heart racing, as the connection deepened. He could feel the pulse of her aura, the rhythm of her energy intertwining with his own. Good, Lady Luna said, her voice a distant echo in the whirlwind of sensations. Now breathe. Let it flow through you. He obeyed, inhaling deeply, feeling the aura expand within him, filling the empty spaces he hadn't realized existed. It was as if he were being reborn, every breath a step toward a new identity, a new purpose. He could see flashes of light behind his eyelids, colors dancing in patterns he couldn't comprehend, but they felt familiar, like memories from a life he had never lived. You have the gift, she said, her voice breaking through the haze. But remember, with power comes responsibility. You must learn to control it, to wield it wisely. He opened his eyes, the world snapping back into focus. Lady Luna's expression was a mixture of pride and caution, and he felt a swell of gratitude for her guidance. Thank you, he managed, his voice barely above a whisper. Don't thank me yet, she replied, a playful glint in her eye. This is just the beginning. Now let's see what you can do. The challenge hung between them, electric and palpable. He could feel the weight of her expectations, the hope she had placed in him. It was daunting, yet it fueled the fire within him. He was ready to learn, ready to fight for his place in this world. As the sun began to rise, casting a golden hue over the slums, Alex felt a sense of purpose settle over him. He was no longer just a boy lost in a new world. He was a burgeoning aura master, a slum lord in the making, and he would do whatever it took to protect his sister and carve out a future for them both. What's next? He asked, determination lacing his words. Lady Luna smiled, a knowing expression that sent a thrill of anticipation coursing through him. Next, we train. You need to learn the basics of aura control. It's not just about feeling, it's about harnessing that energy and directing it. He nodded, ready for whatever came next. He could feel the weight of the world on his shoulders, but it was a weight he was willing to bear. He was Alex, and he would not falter. First, let's start with the basics, she said, her tone shifting to one of seriousness. You need to learn how to visualize your aura. Close your eyes again and picture it surrounding you. He did as instructed, closing his eyes and focusing inward once more. The colors swirled in his mind, vibrant and alive. He pictured his aura as a glowing sphere, radiating warmth and energy. Good. Now, expand it, she instructed. Feel it reaching out, pushing against the boundaries of your body. He concentrated, feeling the energy pulse outward. It was a strange sensation, like stretching a rubber band, but he embraced it. He could feel the aura expanding, filling the space around him until it brushed against Lady Luna's own energy. Excellent, she praised, her voice encouraging. Now try to manipulate it. Can you shape it into a form? He hesitated, the task feeling monumental. But he took a deep breath, channeling his focus into the energy surrounding him. He envisioned it shifting, molding into a shape. A shield, perhaps, something to protect him and those he cared for. Slowly, he felt the aura respond, shifting and reshaping itself at his command. It was a fragile thing, but it was there, a shimmering barrier of light that flickered and danced. That's it! You're doing it! Lady Luna exclaimed, her excitement infectious. Now strengthen it. Make it solid. He poured his will into the shield, willing it to harden, to become a fortress against whatever dangers lay ahead. The aura pulsed, shimmering brighter as he focused, and for a moment he felt invincible. But then, a flicker of doubt crept in, and the shield wavered, flickering like a candle in the wind. Panic surged through him, and he fought against it, trying to regain control. Focus, Alex! Lady Luna's voice cut through the chaos. Breathe! You have to believe in your power! He took a deep breath, grounding himself once more. He could do this. He was Alex, and he would not let fear dictate his actions. He concentrated on the shield, envisioning it solidifying, becoming an extension of himself. Slowly, the flicker subsided, and the shield steadied, glowing brighter than before. He opened his eyes, a grin breaking across his face. I did it, he exclaimed, exhilaration coursing through him. You did? Lady Luna beamed, pride shining in her eyes. But remember, this is just the beginning. Aura mastery is a lifelong journey. You will face challenges, setbacks, and moments of doubt. But as long as you keep pushing forward, you will grow stronger. He nodded, the weight of her words settling within him. He was ready for the challenges ahead, ready to carve out his place in this world. As they continued to train, the sun rose higher in the sky, casting a warm glow over the slums. Alex felt a sense of belonging settle over him, a realization that he was not alone in this journey. With Lady Luna by his side, he had a mentor, a guide to help him navigate the complexities of aura mastery. And as he looked around at the crumbling buildings and weary faces of the slum dwellers, he felt a flicker of hope ignite within him. He could change this place. He could become a force for good, a protector of his sister and the people who called this place home. With each passing moment, he felt the weight of his new identity settle on his shoulders, a mantle he was ready to embrace. He was Alex, a slum lord in training, and he would not falter. The journey ahead was uncertain, but he was ready to face whatever challenges came his way. With Lady Luna's guidance and Michelle's wisdom, he would carve out a future worth fighting for. And so, as the sun bathed the slums in golden light, Alex took his first steps toward destiny. ready to embrace the impossible.